Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Global Happiness Today YouTube channel. A lot of drama is going on right now. Many Nigerians are wondering, are we really in renewed hope or renewed shege? Well, if you ask me, these are hardcore economic decisions that must be taken. Nigerians woke up with the harsh reality of the removal of subsidy, even though there has been some sort of pre-warning that they will be removed at some point, but the suddenness is what took Nigerians unawares. We are still trying to get over the issue of buying fuel a liter for over 511, 520 naira, depending on which state you're in. Nigeria is about to get another dimension. Kai, if you are the type that's looking to jackpot, already we are feeling the Oyibo weather in Nigeria, but the only difference is that the cushioning effect is what the masses are not expecting. To make matters interesting, it looks like even APC supporters are quiet now because this particular renewed shege is everybody that is feeling it. But before we go to the newspaper to find out what is in the pipeline come July 1st for all Nigerians living in Nigeria again, would like you subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Well, Nigerians may need to brace up for tougher times as the electricity tariff is set to increase by over 40% in the coming days, a development which may eventually end all forms of energy subsidy in Nigeria. Tinubu neck at crossroads as Nigeria floating inflation disrupt MYTO. Energy costs may push households, so small medium scale enterprises spending to 70% amid unavailable electricity. Stakeholders raise concerns over impact on economy and poverty. Nigerians may need to brazen up. With a monthly subsidy of about 50 billion naira still in the electricity sector owing to revenue shortfall, the tariff hike due from July 1st may be another acid test for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration's market reforms as he goes on. The administration has already removed subsidies on premium motor spirit, otherwise known as PMS, that's fuel petrol, and floated the naira, decisions that have complicated the price setting of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, otherwise known as NERC, 2022 multi-year tariff order, which is MYTO. These are the acronym. Multi-year tariff order. Let's continue. Although the power sector players have been unable to meet the threshold of supplying at least 5,000 megawatts a year after signing contract with NEC's current service-based tariff (SPT) was benchmarked on an exchange rate of 441 naira per dollar and inflation of 16.97%. Going by NEC's order in 2015, the average tariff across distribution companies, that's discos, and classes of end users was 25 naira per kilowatt in order of 198 naira, that's in 2020, which came into effect on September 1st, 2020. The average tariff went to 60 naira per kilowatt in MY2, that's NYTO. For 2022, the average tariff was now 64 naira across classes of consumers. Now, the foreign exchange rate used in determining the 2015 tariff was 198 naira.97 per dollar. It later grew to 383 naira.80 per dollar was used in 2020, while 441.78 per dollar was used in 2022. The inflation used in 2015 was 8.3%, 12% was used in 2020, and 16.97% in 2022. Now, currently, the inflation rate is 22.41%, and some experts have projected that it will hit 30% by the end of June, given the floating of the naira and subsidy removal on PMS, that's petrol. Coming as the mentoring gap remained at over 7 million, gas prices, losses, and natural generation capacity are other elements in determining the tariff. One next projected tariff for July 2023 was expected to remove subsidy and increase the previous frozen tariff band D&E, increasing the bonds from 54.59 naira per kilowatt to 62 naira point 16 for brand D, and 48.37 naira kilowatt for to 61.16 on average, 61.16 naira on average, with an average increase across the bands moving to 67 naira per kilowatt. The prevailing floating of the naira and spike in inflation is projected to move the new average tariff to 88 naira per kilowatt. Kai! Now let's continue. For the sector to recover the cost. Kai! Now, most stakeholders said that while the increase was unavoidable due to the changes in the parameters, households and small businesses who should power the economy may head for serious problems, with energy costs alone rising to over 70% as purchasing power remains a challenge in the face of unemployment and poverty. At the time of filing this report, available electricity on the grid stood at 3,057.7 megawatts from 17 power plants. The average load intake of all the discos in the last 4 months averaged 3,000 megawatts, a development that follows the persistent push to make discos meet up with 100% of their remittance orders, with the question of affordability emerging as a major consideration as the grid remains unreliable, forcing it to make losses. Stakeholders have expressed fear that Nigerian electricity supply market may face tougher times managing outlook due to apathy that may come from consumers who are losing hope in the system and resorting to alternative energy. Energy expert Professor Wumi Iladare said the restructuring of the forex market creates worries as it appears as a devaluation of the naira, adding that he is not comfortable blaming subsidy removal and paying the right tariff for decoupling Nigeria's economy from forex instability. According to him, people must support the government in its effort to stop the dollarization of the economy, even if electricity tariff and petroleum product prices rise to a not too comfortable market clearing price. Iladare, however, questioned the current energy pricing in the country, adding that the PMS pricing, which stayed after the NNPC announcement, is anti-competitive based on the dominant firm market structure. Price hike cannot just depend on forex in the electricity market. Market fundamentals are key to rate determination in a decreasing cost industry producing essential commodities like power, Iladare noted. Energy lawyer Madake Ahmed said the never-ending upward reviews of power tariffs have become some sort of blackmail on electricity consumers and should be addressed through Consumer Protection Council or an organized body of electricity consumers. Indexing the cost of electricity on the dollar is a huge mistake because most of the inputs for electricity supply are local. The discos are also holding Nigerians to ransom but failing to increase the supply base, thereby spreading the tariff across a broader spectrum of consumers to reduce the unit cost of electricity, Ahmad said. He insisted that as long as there remain many unmetered consumers and many others not connected to the grid at all, the few consumers on the grid would continue to be subjected to unjust tariffs which are not reflective of the quality of service delivered. Ahmed hoped that the signing into law of the new Electricity Act would mark the beginning of light at the end of the long tunnel of inefficient and epileptic power supply in Nigeria. President of Nigerian Consumer Protection Network, Kunle Olubiyo, stated that while the last major review of electricity tariff was benchmarked at 400 naira per dollar, the floating of naira and harmonization of the exchange rate put the exchange rate at about 750 naira per dollar. It will affect the tariff template and result in an upward review of electricity tariff. As important as this may be, two things are quite imperative to help in achieving a win-win for the demand and supply side of the coin. Moving forward, government through relevant regulatory institutions should liberalize and end users consumers access to effective metering and mass metering to help in drastically closing the ever-increasing huge metering gaps. Olubiyo said he asked the government to look into gas pricing, aligning with domestic gas obligation. A lot of people are talking, hey, this one is everybody that it will affect. Hey, electricity, yeah, Mogbe, this is renewed shege. If look, these are beautiful policies, but please, is there no palliative for all Nigerians? See, this one is not only for civil servant o, gbogbo wa ló kàn. It's all of us that e concern. All of us are using electricity. Please, there should be palliative for everybody. On what price? Averagely, we are pushing 100 naira per kilowatt lórí kíni. Let's put in our comment section. If you're in Nigeria, this one July 1st, you will feel the heat o, gbogbo wa ló kàn. Let's talk about it in our